we're going to make a book of you. So the first thing we're going to just going to be a workshop for half an hour, and the very first thing we're going to do is look at all our materials. So I'm Julia, and I've been doing lots of workshops for many years in schools and libraries and with children, young people, older people. But one of the things I love is the idea of a book. So first of all, get everything around you that you need. That's the real trick to have some real fun. And particularly if you've got people, family, or you're looking after people, it's good to get it all assembled out in front of you. So I'm going to hold up all the things I've got, and then when I get started, I'm going to lower the camera and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So first thing you'll need is just some simple A4 paper, just a few sheets, 4 or 5 sheets of A4 paper, and that's going to be the main part of your book. The second thing is a pair of scissors, and I always hold them like this, but I'm using ones that are good for children, just to cut a few things up. So you've got paper, you've got scissors. And then whatever you've really got in the house, if you've got some, I've got some nice felt pens here in lots of different colours. You could have some felt pens. Got some wax crayons, again in lots of different nice colours. I've got these fibre tipped pens, which I rather like, in lots of different colours. Just anything that you like working with, and some watercolour paints that I've had for a very long time, which I do enjoy using, and a bit of water in a tiny little jug. Just put it in a little egg cup or a plastic dish, and if you're going to do that, just a paintbrush. Always good to have a pencil. We'll need a pencil and a pen. And then some glue, and if you haven't got glue, some sellotape, something like that, just to stick things down. I found a few of these fun little post-it notes in different colours that I like. I've got some tissue paper that I may want to use. Anything that you've got handy, in that store cupboard, bits of paper. The really important thing is to get together just bits of print, because we're going to use the sort of print, maybe bits of old magazines that you've got lying around that got some pictures and some print in. There's an old recipe here that I'm never going to use again. That's got all sorts of print. And I've got an old calendar from way back, which is very colourful, which I'm going to cut up as well. So just those sort of things. And then to make the cover, either if you've got something in the kitchen, some baking material, baking things, or maybe just some brown paper to wrap things. It could be brown paper, or I've got some lining paper here, just larger than the A4. This is lining paper, old lining paper from some decorating. So once you've got all that together, that's the first thing to do, is to get all of those materials in one place so that you're ready to make the book of you. Now with the book of you, it's about making something special, just about yourself. And this is I'm going to show you the sort of thing that while you're getting those materials together on the table, the sort of thing that we're going to come back with. So this is just one I made earlier, you can see that. And it's got a brown cover, and then you can see it's got all sorts of illustrations in here. I started this, and it's basically a book about how I was feeling in summer. So we're going to do this together. So it's a very quick way to get something maybe that you can, and maybe you can share at Christmas and in the holidays, or just to show people what you're about. And at the bottom here, put at Julia Publications there, you can see. So I'm going to start now. I'm going to bring the camera nearer to me, and we're going to start off with the idea of a collage. So if you get in front of you the print that I mentioned, any old print, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the David Bowie technique. Now, most people know David Bowie, very famous for all his music. People used to ask, where do you get those amazing ideas for all those words, all those lyrics? It's just extraordinary. And actually, he once published. He once published something about this that I'll read to you. He had a thing called a cut-up technique, and he talked about this in 2008. And it basically is that you cut lots of words up from anywhere, and then you basically pick two at random and put them together. So that's what we're going to start off to do, because it's a good way to start your imagination going about what you might want your book of you to be about. So here we go. I'm going to lower the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got this old magazine, and this is about stars and the moon, and I'm actually just going to tear this page out on the moon, and I'm literally going to cut up a few words out of it. So I've got that in front of me. Make a space here so you can see. I'll put it on a sheet of white paper as I'm cutting out, and you'll be able to see. Right, so I'm going to cut out the word moon. Here, there we go, moon. Going to, and then there's, I saw a word, binoculars. I quite like that word. I'm going to put out binoculars down there. It's a little word. So if you carry on doing this, and I will like the word like. It's making me feel quite happy. So to be doing something I like, and then, and so on. So just keep cutting words or phrases, like is between us is another phrase. And then I think we'll have a planet. We'll cut out Pluto. Plato, sorry, we've got Plato here. And then if you've got, say, younger people there, children, maybe with larger print, it might be easier. So there's a thing here, there's the word puffin. Quite like the idea of the word puffins. So there's a nice pink puffins. So basically what we're doing here is collage. And then we've got birthday, another lovely word. Anybody's got their birthday, so I'm cutting this out. So just carry on cutting out words until you've got maybe 10, 12. And then you can either look at them and decide, or you can shut your eyes and just, which I'm going to do, and just come up with two. So I put my my finger on these two. So I've got birthday and I've got Plato, tiny word. There, not be able to see that, but Plato and birthday. I'm going to tip those words out there, so that what I'm going to show you now is how to make the inside of your book. So if you want to have, say, a long book, more than, say, 8 pages, you're going to, so if you have 2 sheets of A4, that's usually enough to start with. You get 2 pieces of A4, fold them both in half down the middle, like this, and make a crease just right along the middle, like that. So you've got a nice crease, and make that all the way along, nice and sharp. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. So that's plenty to be going on with. So there, let's just start on this book of you. And we've got our random words, which is great. So I'm going to stick down the 2 words of, just with some blue, birthday. Just going to put it on at an angle, and Plato. There we go. So just there, you can stick it on, and then this is where you can start getting a bit creative and look around and go, what is it that I've got a nice pink birthday word. I think I'm going to go for a nice pink felt tip and actually draw around my book. And as I'm drawing, I'm going to make a sort of nice little design around that, and I'm going to put a circle around the Plato, and I'm going to make it into a smiley face, and I'm actually going to give some pink hair there. Birthday Plato, and I'm thinking, I'm looking and thinking about my birthday ahead, and I'm thinking about Plato. I'm thinking, that's all about philosophy. So maybe it's all about, what am I going to be thinking about on my birthday? There we go. This is when you can start doing some more cutting out, and this can be very much fun. So, and you can start sort of using whatever the pictures are to give you a bit of inspiration. So I'm going to turn to this. So I've got this calendar of Chagall's, and here there's a picture of somebody playing the violin. So I think on my Plato birthday, I think I'm going to just cut out the violin, and it's all very colourful, very lovely. So that would be nice. And it reminds me of all those times, it's making me feel happy, and I'm thinking, maybe, we're going to be singing and dancing soon. And there's actually I'll show you this, there's somebody actually flying over this violinist's head. So that's giving me some more ideas. So this is just a time to relax and just go with whatever the pictures are sort of. There we go. So cut him out. Hoping that this light is okay for you, maybe like this, better. And there he is playing his violin, and I think I'm going to fold that over now, and I'm going to stick this. I've got my book, And I think I'm going to look at it and I'm going to go, oh, where does that work? It doesn't. Maybe I need to chop off some more from his head because it's too big. So I'm going to cut round his head so it fits at the bottom. And basically what you're doing now is you're creating what's called a collage, which is just a very nice way of working. So I'm going to stick that there at the bottom because it sort of looks nice. So you're building up a different picture. So this is now becoming a book of me, and I hope you're making a book of you, because it's all about becoming about things that I like. And I think, oh, that's very nice, and that there's a bit of a cloud on this picture and somebody flying above. So I think I'm going to cut out that cloud and that person on that picture flying above. And now I've got this idea that this book of me is going to be all about all the lovely dreams that I'm going to have for summer. That's what this book of me is going to be about today, because it happens to be, you know, very dark. I've got the electric lights on, and there's the person flying. You can see. Oh, put that there. Yeah. There we go. So that's going to go on the top there. I'm just using the glue, and if you haven't got any glue, if you just want to use a bit of sellotape, that's fine too. So now I'm going to take my black pen, and I'm going to write somewhere in here. I'm going to give it a title. I'm going to just say the book of you. I'm going to put that just above the birthday. I'm going to call it the book of me, Julia's book of me. That's what I'm going to call it. So I'm going to write that there. So this is the front page, Julia's book of me. And I think what I might do is give it a date. I think I'm going to put at the bottom, I'm just going to put December 2020. So when I come back to it, I can remember when it was. So there we go. Then we can go to the next page. Maybe you want to have a think about this and think, well, what is it about your page that you're most interested in? Now, I think I'm interested in the person flying overhead. So it may be that you've chosen something to cut out, like a bird or an animal. You maybe want to take your bird or animal for a walk. I basically want to take my little figure for a fly up in the air. So I'm going to think about, on this next page here, what this person sees from the air. And actually, what I've got in front of me, to do some more collage, is just this thing that came today. It's all about kitchens, and it's trying to sell me kitchens. So maybe, this is quite interesting. From the air, there's a happy young woman at a kitchen. So maybe this person in the air sees somebody very happy and smiling. And as I'm having dreams about summer, maybe I'm going to cut her out and put her on the next page and write something about her. So write something, I'm going to tear that bit. Cut her out and just stick her down, and I'm going to say a few things. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to go, oh, what is it about this picture I like? And I'm going to go, yellow hair, big watch, yellow hair and big watch. And I'm just going to stick those two, I'm going to write those two words, yellow hair, big watch. And I'm going to go, I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to go, in the book of me, yellow hair, big watch, what is it that I'm thinking that would be good? I'm going to say something like, I'm just going to write, I love her yellow hair and I don't need a watch because in summer the birds will tell me the time. So just into my mind, this is called automatic writing. I've just written the first thing that I've thought of. And then what I can do is I can start, if you want to start thinking about what that means, you can start colouring and doing things and having a fun time. So let's paint a few pretty little birds, different colours, imaginary birds, around happy smiling face with yellow hair. So getting my paints, and I think I'm going to go for a pink bird. So I'm going to dip that in, just going to do a nice splodgy oval pink. I'm going to wash the brush, then I'm going to go for a nice yellow one. So use anything. It may be that you're using post-its, or it doesn't matter what you use to be doing these sorts of things. It could be paints, it could be crayons, it could be post-its, whatever you've got. And then I'm going to do a green one. So I'm just going to imagine, so I've got 3 little ovals, obviously the green one best there. See, I'm now going to decorate with my pen. I'm going to make little birds. I'm going to draw around, I'm going to come down here so you can see. I'm going to draw around the ovals. So you can see better. Pull this up here. And I'm going to put little eyes in the ovals. I'm going to give them little feet and then little wings. My pen. Got some little birdies. Give them little tails. So if you can see that. There. So you can see there's an oval there, and I've just gone round in a circle with the black, given a little eye, little wings, and a few legs, whatever you're doing. So you've got a happy page there. So while you're doing that, it's all about, when you're making a book of you, something like this, to relax and use lots of different things, it's all about letting your mind go free. So while you're just doing that, it's often, I love looking at what different people have written to give me ideas. And there's a poem by Lem Sissay, who is a great, he's a living poet, and he wrote this poem called Invisible Kisses, and it's always one which gives me ideas, and I'll read you a bit of it while you're making your page. And it's called, if there was ever one whom you were sleeping, would wipe your tears when in dreams you were weeping, who would offer you time when others demand, whose love lay more infinite than grains of sand. Well, on that, there's, already lots of ideas for the next page that I want to do. I'm thinking, what's going to happen when I sleep? So you could write, if there was ever one, and I'm going to write that at the top of this next page here, in the middle. If there was ever one from when you were sleeping. And then I'm going to think, oh, I think when I'm sleeping, if there was ever one when I was sleeping that I feel like, I'm going to carry on with my idea of birds, and I'm going to actually draw in a big felt tip pen. I'm going to use orange, which is my favourite colour. I'm going to draw a big sort of, this is just like the start of the shape of a bird. And I'm going to give the wings here, just do 3 little lines for the wings. I'm going to use another felt pen. I'm going to use the brown one. I'm going to give the bird a little beak and an eye. This is if there was ever one when you were sleeping, it's this little bird. Let's give them feet. And then, you know, this is the sort of thing you can do. I've actually managed to get some glitter. So if you've got anything like that, or little things you want to use to carry on with your collage, I'm going to actually give this bird that is thinking about what I'm doing when I'm sleeping, I'm going to give them a twinkly set of wings. So I'm just going to sprinkle some orange glitter on the wing. And then, you know, I've got some tissue paper here. Maybe I fancy having a bit of tissue paper on the bird to give this idea of more feathers. So I'm just going to just chop some little bits off the edge. Just a few bits like that. Small bits, and stick them near where the glitter is. So that gives a real idea of a bird, sort of flappy bird. There we go. Right, so this is what you can carry on doing, but you can just, you know, I've got, you know, we've had good 20 minutes now. So what you can do is just carry on in your book, doing different things in the sort of way I've talked about. Just whether you read something or you hear something and that goes, oh, I want to talk about that. So I've just started with the idea of a birthday in spring. What's the sort of thing I'd like to dream about? So, but what I want to do is to show you how to make a cover for this, and you can keep going back and adding to it. So, for instance, you could add some little post-it notes to this front on here, and then write something in there. You know, so you really build up the collage. So you can start one day and go back to it. But what we're going to do is just to quickly make a book cover for it, because I think I showed you at the beginning what we were aiming for. Now what you need to do is to get hold of your brown paper, and you basically need to tear off a large piece, and then what you're going to do, I've actually cut a larger piece earlier. What you're going to do is get a sheet of the A4 paper we talked about at the beginning, and you're going to basically cut a piece of brown paper that is slightly larger than the A4 sheet. Okay, so it has to be about ½ inch wider than the A4. Okay, so when you've done this, it's almost like a frame, and then you take basically your book that you've been making it, open it out you can open it out in the middle, but what you want to do is to go to so you've got the two outside pages, and you're going to lay this flat on your slightly larger piece of brown paper. So if I show you, this is the front and this is the slightly larger brown paper. What we're going to do, fold this down. It's just an extra thing that makes it feel very special. To find is you're going to actually fold the brown paper. I'll just move those along so you can see. And to fold that, an edge like that, right the way across, and go put that over there, and right the way across here. And you're going to go to the top and do the same. Go fold it right the way down, nice. And then you're going to put this bit, which is the middle bit, on top there. And hold that. And then you're going to get the edge here, the side, fold it across there, fold it across there. I'm going to get the other edge here, fold it in there. Now then you go back and go to the middle again. Now take the whole thing out, so you've actually got the folded brown bit underneath. And that should, when you put this back in, should just fit on exactly. But you've got nice neat edges of your book. So you've got the middle there again. This is right in the middle. Now, if you take your favourite ribbon or anything you've got left over, and I've got these wonderful laces that I've had in a drawer for a very long time. And what you're going to do is you're just going to lay this down the middle of your book of you, and then you're going to fold this over so, and then you're going to bring this here and bring this here, and you're going to just, make a knot. Now you can either make a knot or you can make a bow, whatever works for you. I'm going to make a bow. Right, and then what we've got is the start of a book of you. So there we go. When you open it up, there we go. The start of it, Julia's book of me. And then we've begun it, and we go into there. The happy smiley face and the birdies. And go here. And so on. So you can keep adding to it, and it's a lovely book. And just to finish off as a final thing, if you turn to the back, I'm going to write on it Julia Publishing. So you could name your own little publishing house when you've done it and you've done the book of you. So I'm hoping you enjoyed that. And you've enjoyed making the Book of You. Goodbye.